The lights were spinning in soft golden hues, the music pulsing like a heartbeat through the crowded ballroom, and laughter floated all around me like it was the most perfect night of my life. I stood there in my emerald dress, the one my husband Mark had picked out for me just last week, feeling like the luckiest woman alive. 10 years of marriage, and we were celebrating our anniversary with everyone who mattered: family, friends, even my little sister Sophia, who had helped plan every single detail. I remember smiling so wide my cheeks hurt as I raised my glass earlier that evening. To my rock Mark and to my sister Sophia, who's been like my second heart, you two made this night magical. Everyone clapped, and Sophia hugged me tight, her perfume wrapping around me like always. She whispered in my ear, "You deserve this, sis." All of it. God, I believed her. With every fiber of my being, we had grown up sharing everything close. Secrets, even the same bedroom until I left for college. I was the big sister who worked 2 jobs so Sophia could chase her dreams. When she struggled in university, I paid her tuition. When she needed a place to stay after a bad breakup, our guest room was hers. And Mark, he adored her too. "She's family," he'd say, ruffling her hair like a protective brother. I loved how close they were. It made our little world feel unbreakable. That night at the party, everything felt right. The string lights twinkled over the dance floor, waiters passed champagne, and Mark kept pulling me close for slow dances, his hand warm on my lower back. I caught Sophia watching us from the edge of the crowd, her eyes soft, almost misty. I thought it was sisterly pride. I even waved her over once. "Come dance with us," I called, laughing. She shook her head with that shy smile she'd had since we were kids, but then something tiny shifted. Mark's phone buzzed on the high-top table beside us while he was grabbing drinks. I picked it up out of habit. 10 years of marriage makes you do that without thinking. The screen lit up with a new message. From Sophia. I smiled, expecting something sweet like "great party." Instead, the words stared back at me, simple and glowing. "Baby, I can't stop thinking about last night. When can I feel your hands on me again? Miss you already." My breath caught. Last night, Mark had been at a late meeting. Sophia had said she was visiting a friend. I stared at the name Sophia with the little heart emoji she always used. My mind raced to make it innocent. Maybe a joke. Maybe she sent it to the wrong person. I laughed nervously, loud enough for the people nearby to hear. "Mark, honey," I said, holding the phone up like it was the funniest thing. "Your phone just buzzed. Sophia sent you the sweetest message. Or wait, is this meant for someone else?" I read the first line aloud, still smiling, still trying to turn it into a playful moment for the party. "Baby, I can't stop thinking about last night." The music didn't stop. The laughter around us didn't even pause at first. But Sophia's face changed. Her eyes widened, then narrowed. She pushed through the crowd in 3 quick steps, her heels clicking like warnings. Before I could finish the sentence, her hand flew across my cheek. The slap cracked through the air louder than any music. My head snapped to the side, the sting blooming hot across my skin. Champagne flutes clinked as people froze. And then her voice, my sister's voice, shattered everything. "Are you blind?" She screamed right there in front of everyone. "Are you actually blind?" That message is from me to him. It's been me for 2 years. The room went dead silent except for the low hum of the speakers. I stood there, cheek burning, phone still in my hand, staring at the sister I had loved since the day she was born. Her chest heaved. Mark's face drained of color beside me, and all I could think was, how did the most beautiful night of my life just become the moment my entire world cracked open? I felt the tears before I even realized they were falling. Not from the pain of the slap, no. That was nothing compared to the way my heart folded in on itself right there under those twinkling lights. Everyone was staring. My best friend from college had her hand over her mouth. My mother's face looked like someone had punched her in the gut. And Sophia, she just stood there, breathing hard, like she'd been holding that scream inside for years. I opened my mouth, but no words came. Only a broken whisper. Sophia, what are you saying? She laughed, but it wasn't happy. It was sharp, bitter, like glass breaking. I'm saying I'm tired of hiding, sis. Tired of watching you parade around like you have the perfect life while I've been the one he comes to when you're too busy being the perfect wife. Mark reached for my arm, but I jerked away. His touch, the same touch I had trusted every single night, suddenly felt like fire. It's not what it sounds like, he muttered, but his voice cracked. The man who had promised me forever couldn't even look me in the eye. I don't remember walking out. One moment I was standing in the middle of the dance floor. The next I was outside in the cool night air, heels in my hand, mascara running down my cheeks like rain. The party sounds faded behind me, but Sophia's scream kept echoing inside my head. Are you blind? That question burned deeper than the slap, because in that moment I realized maybe I had been taught all those late nights Mark said were work. All the time Sophia crashed at our house just for a weekend. The way she'd started wearing the perfume he bought me, the vacations he took for business while I stayed home with our dog and our quiet routines. I had seen the signs. I had felt the tiny cracks, but I had smiled through them because trusting my sister and my husband was the foundation of who I was. I sat on the curb outside the venue, shaking, and for the first time in my life, I let myself feel the full weight of what had just happened. My sister, the girl I taught how to ride a bike, the one I defended against bullies, the one I gave up my own savings for, had been sleeping with my husband. And tonight, in front of everyone I loved, she had slapped me awake. I thought that was the worst night of my life. I had no idea the real pain was only beginning. The days after the party blurred into a fog of silence and tears. I locked myself in our bedroom, my bedroom now, while Mark slept on the couch downstairs. He tried to explain. He sent flowers. He left voicemails saying, "It just happened. We never meant to hurt you." But every word felt like another slap. Sophia didn't call. Not once. The sister who used to text me good morning every day simply vanished. I found out later she had moved in with Mark's best friend temporarily. Like she was already rewriting her life without me in it. I spent hours staring at old photos on my phone as three at the beach. Sophia in her graduation gown with Mark's arm around her shoulders. Holiday dinners where she sat between us like the glue holding our family together. I kept zooming in on their smiles, searching for the moment it changed. When did family turn into theirs? The worst part wasn't even the cheating. It was the way they had made a fool of me for 2 whole years. 2 years of me cooking dinners they both ate at the same table. 2 years of me planning trips while they snuck away on work. Conferences. Sophia had even helped me pick out anniversary gifts for Mark gifts he later told me he hated because they reminded him of you. My mother called once, voice trembling. She's your sister, honey. Blood. Maybe you can forgive. I hung up. Blood didn't feel like protection anymore. It felt like a knife. I stopped eating. I stopped sleeping. Every mirror showed a woman I barely recognized, eyes hollow, shoulders slumped, the confident wife gone. Friends tried to help. You're strong, they said. You'll get through this. But strength felt impossible when the two people I had built my entire world around had been tearing it down behind my back. Then one night, about 3 weeks later, I found the messages. Mark had left his old laptop open while he came to pick up clothes. I wasn't snooping, I swear I wasn't, but the folder was right there on the desktop. Us. Hundreds of photos. Hotel rooms. Beach trips. Even one of them in our own guest room, Sophia wearing my robe. The dates went back 26 months. I sat on the floor and cried until my chest hurt. Not loud sobs. Quiet, broken ones that made my whole body shake. How could you? I whispered to the empty room. How could you both look me in the eye every single day? That was the night something inside me shifted. The pain didn't disappear. It hardened. The shattered pieces of my heart didn't magically heal. They turned into something sharper. I wiped my face, opened a new notebook, and started writing everything down. Every lie. Every late night. Every I love you they had stolen from me. I began to see clearly for the first time. The way Sophia had always been jealous of my stability. The way Mark had slowly pulled away but kept me around for the comfort of a home and a wife who never questioned him. They hadn't just betrayed me, they had used me. My salary paid for their secret weekends. My trust gave them cover. My love made them feel safe while they tore me apart. I started gathering proof quietly. Bank statements showing hotel charges I never knew about. Sophia's old phone she left behind with deleted messages I recovered. Even a few videos from our home security system I had installed years ago for safety. Each piece hurt like pressing on a bruise, but I kept going. Because every time the pain rose, I heard her voice again. Are you blind? No, not anymore. I stopped answering Mark's calls. I changed the locks. I told my boss I needed time off and spent my days walking long, angry walks where I practiced what I would say when the moment came. I cried less. I slept more. And slowly, the broken woman on the bedroom floor became someone new. Someone who looked in the mirror and saw fire instead of tears. Sophia finally reached out through her mother. She wants to talk, Mom said gently. She says she's sorry. I laughed for the first time in weeks. Sorry. The word felt too small for what they had done. I agreed to meet them. Not because I wanted closure yet, but because I needed them to look me in the eye one more time before I ended this chapter on my terms. They came to the house. The house. I had paid half for sitting on the couch like guilty children. Mark couldn't stop fidgeting. Sophia's eyes were red, but she still had that defiant lift to her chin. I never wanted it to come out like that, she said quietly. But you kept acting like everything was perfect. Like you couldn't see what was right in front of you. I looked at her, the girl I had raised, and felt something cold settle in my chest. You're right, Sophia. I was blind. But now I see everything. That was the moment I stopped being the victim, Dot, and the moment my revenge began. I didn't scream. I didn't cry. I simply slid the folder across the coffee table, every receipt, every photo, every timestamped message printed in neat black and white. Mark's face went pale. Sophia's hands trembled as she flipped through the pages. How? She whispered. I stopped being blind. I answered softly, and I started paying attention. I told them everything I had discovered. The company knew about their affair because I had anonymously sent the evidence to HR 2 days earlier. Mark's boss had already called him that morning. His promotion was gone and an investigation was starting. Sophia's new job, the one I had helped her get references for, had received the same package. You took 2 years of my life, I said, voice steady even though my heart was racing. You used my home, my money, my trust. Now I'm taking back what's mine. I had already filed for divorce. The papers were ready because the house was in both our names, but I had the financial records showing I paid 70% of everything. The judge would see the truth. Mark would walk away with almost nothing. Sophia would lose the career she had built on my connections. They begged. Mark cried real tears for the first time. Sophia reached for my hand like we were kids again. We're family, she whispered. I pulled away gently. Family doesn't do this. The next week was a storm. Word spread fast. Friends who had stayed silent at the party now called to apologize. My mother finally chose my side, heartbroken but clear-eyed. Sophia moved out of the city, her new relationship with Mark crumbling under the weight of what they had lost. He tried one last time, showed up at my door with flowers, but I simply closed it without a word. I didn't need to scream or humiliate them publicly again. The truth did that all by itself. 3 months later, I stood in the same ballroom, different party, different dress, different woman. This time it was a celebration for my new promotion, the one I earned after throwing myself into work to heal. The lights still twinkled, but now they felt warm instead of mocking. I raised a glass to my friends, to my mother, to the version of me who survived. To seeing clearly, I said softly, no one knew the full story except the people who mattered. But I knew. And that was enough. Sophia sent one last message a few weeks ago. Just 3 words. I'm so sorry. I read it, then deleted it. Forgiveness might come one day, far in the future. But right now, peace was more important. I sold the house, moved to a sunny apartment near the ocean, started therapy not because I was broken, but because I wanted to grow. I even went on a first date last month. Nothing serious yet. Just coffee and laughter and the beautiful feeling of being seen for who I am now. Looking back, that slap wasn't the end of my life. It was the beginning of the real one. The night my sister screamed, "Are you blind?" She didn't know she was handing me my sight. She didn't know she was waking me up to the truth that love should never cost your dignity. That family is who shows up when the lights go out, not who turns them off. That betrayal can destroy you, or it can rebuild you stronger than you ever. Dream. I choose the second option every single day. So if you're watching this and you've been hurt by someone you trusted with your whole heart, someone whose slap or whose silence left you questioning everything, hear me. The pain is real. The nights are long. But one day you will stand up, wipe your tears, and realize the person who tried to blind you actually gave you the clearest vision of your own strength. You are not broken. You are becoming, and that is the most beautiful revenge of all. Thank you for listening to my story. If it touched you, drop a comment below. You're never alone. And remember, keep your eyes open, your heart guarded, and your spirit unbreakable. Until next time, stay strong, beautiful souls.